Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mcbaj, a fashion and beauty photographer based in London, UK. So today I'll be teaching you guys how to use Capture One as a photographer. Capture One is a raw processing tool just like the likes of Lightroom, which I use and I prefer because I love the way it tends to like send the images out of the application itself down to Photoshop, as my workflow is from Capture One to Photoshop, then I export back in Capture One. So without further ado guys, let's jump straight into the computer. So guys, when you open Capture One for the first time, this is how the interface is going to look like. And when you open Capture One for the first time, it's actually to create a catalog, because that's like the that's the way Capture One works from way back. But now I would need to like tell you guys the differences between new catalog and a new session. You create sessions for each photo shoot you're about doing. Like let's say you have a client that wants to like let's assume the name of the client is Hayo, or the name of the client is Dami, or the name of the client is Kola. So you need to like create a session for this person and say, oh yeah, this is this person's session. So a session is just going to house some particular number of images. I think over like 3,000, like about 3,000 images. If you're to create a catalog, a folder that houses more than just one particular session, so let's say a catalog has a catalog has different sessions in it. So you know, a catalog houses large body of like images. You don't have a limit to a catalog. So, and you could decide to create a catalog for like based on like a yearly base, or let's say per client. When I say per client, let's say like you have a client that keeps coming back every time, so you could say, oh yeah, this client, this is the whole catalog for just this person. Or you could decide to like create a catalog based on a January photo shoot. So let's say like you're shooting a beauty shoot, you create a catalog for it. And so that means when you create that catalog for the beauty shoot, you have different beauty people, like beauty shoots under that same catalog. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So majorly I would create a session. So you could create a new session and call it, let's say same headshot. Okay, so when you create a session saying team headshot, you could decide to create a location where you want to have this stuff saved. I could say, okay, maybe on the desktop of my computer, or maybe on an external hard drive. That's where I want to have this stuff saved. That is the location. And also you could create subfolders, which is capture. What capture means is like where your images you're taking, maybe if you're tethering, so that is going to be in the folder of your capture. Then the other folder here, which is the subfolder, which is select. This is when you're done with like the images, like when you're done shooting the images, those selections you made will be in the select folder. And output is like when you're done with these images and like you're done editing and doing whatever you want to do with the images. This is output, where the images tend to like go to when you're done with the images after exporting. That's the output folder. And also the trash folder is more like your bin. Anytime you're done, like you're deleting an image, it's going to go into this folder. But mind you, the trash folder is just there to like have images you've deleted, but it is not going to totally delete the image off your hard drive or whatever place you're placing it. So it is just like a folder to house all of these images. So I'm going to create a new session and press OK, and there you have created a new session. Yeah, so if it's more like you want to create a catalog for, like, let's say, because I named this as team headshots, so I could decide to now create a catalog saying, oh yeah, I want to create a catalog saying headshot. Do you guys understand right now? Saying headshot. So this catalog I'm creating, I could decide to still create a location, like saying, oh, this is where I want this stuff to go to. So if I'm to create this, oh, don't mind me, I didn't put a hey there. So yeah, if I'm to create this catalog saying headshot, yeah, this is a whole catalog to have headshot. So I'm going to have that team headshot, have Dami's headshot, Hayo's headshot inside this one. And how I can do that, after when I'm done with my sessions, I could just simply like add a new session, which is right about here. it says import session, which you can find in file, then what import session right here. So import the session from wherever it is, you click on it, then it's automatically import into the catalog of headshots. First one is more like your file organization, where you can actually click between your session and your catalog, as you can see right here. And also really you could just do this from your file menu also. So I'm going to skip this one. This right here, the second one right here, is more like your tethering menu, where you tend to like if you plug your camera in, you're going to see your camera details here. Then you can start taking your pictures on your camera. So any picture you take right there would come up right here as your images you've taken, because you're tethering. And here you could decide to like you see your camera settings if the camera is connected right here, and you can see like you could rename, like you want to try to like create a metadata for your images. You could like rename this depending on what you want. As you can see here, name, camera counter, you could add your name into it. Like you get all of this personal preference. So that's all I'm going to do on this particular menu. Every other thing is just something you can look through and decide to play with if you want. So moving on to this one, this is more like your lens correction. That is when you're trying to actually edit your picture. You could see your chromatic aberration here, you see all of this. They're not stuff I would come to like every day, but they're just stuff I just want you guys to know. So this one here, you have your layers, you have your base characteristics, which is like your ICC. I don't use this, like I almost don't open this one. This your white balance. You're having here. You can also have it in the next menu, but I'm just showing you have it right here. And your color editor, as the name implies, you can mess around with the different colors in your images. If you have your images right here, you can mess around with the colors, all of that, your color balance, your black and whites. That's what this menu is, more like for colors. And for this one, this is the menu I would be in almost every time I'm using Capture One. You find me like 90% of the time right here. So this is your Instagram, where you're going to see your levels and your curves and everything of your picture. You have the layers here also, like you can see from this previous one. You still have the layers here too, and here you have the base characteristics also, like the previous one. So this particular menu right here, this menu right here, the exposure menu, you have actually everything you have in all of these other ones. You have them here. So I'm always on this particular menu. So you have your white balance here if you're trying to mess with your white balance, your exposure. You also have your exposure here. You can mess around your exposure, your dynamic range, your clarity, your levels, your curves, and your vignetting. So I'm always like 90% of the time I'm always on this particular menu. This I almost never use. This one is your sharpening, your noise reduction, your film grain. If you need it, that's what it's for. So style and preset, I don't use this for my workflow. I really do not even open this menu at all. This one is your metadata, where you tend to like see whatever thing you've actually applied on your picture. You're gonna see here, but I don't open this menu. So I would tell you 90% of the time I'm always using the exposure menu, this particular menu, which is for the colors, and also I'm going to be on this last menu. This last menu is basically how to export your images of Capture One, which is, as you guys can see, this is when I'm done with my image, how I end up exporting the JPEG, full size high quality JPEG. But this first one right here, I used to like I use this particular first menu to send to clients for like previewing the images and for selection. That's what this one is for. So it's just export a low quality image or a low size image, but the quality will still be very high, right? So the clients can actually see and make selections from. Then this is like for Instagram, if you want to export your Instagram formats from here, and that's it. So process recipe right now, this is get JPEG. So far you've clicked on this one, is going to like automatically do any changes you need from this particular menu right here. And now switch location, as it says, you could decide to automatically, remember when I was explaining what a session and a catalog is, from this menu you can actually see that it goes, anything you're exporting goes to your output menu right here. But if you feel you don't want your export to go to your output menu outside, or your output folder, sorry, outside, you could decide to change it. Sorry, hold on a minute guys. you could decide to change where you want your output to go. As this other one too implies, this is the move, this is the drag, this is the loop, this is the crop, this is the rotate, and this is the eyedropper tool. This is to copy and like paste your edit from one image to another, which is copy, apply. Here you have this, you have the erase tool, you have the healing brush tool, just like how it is on Lightroom. Same thing you have here. So this particular one is the focus marks, which I'll be importing a picture, and for you guys to actually see how this works. This focus marks is more like it shows you if your image is actually in focus. And this one, you see the before and after of your picture. You have the grid line, you have the exposure warning right here, and for this particular part here, this is where you see all of your images. And I can tell you, this is virtually everything about Capture One that you need to know for a start as a photographer. So guys, I just opened a new session which I had previously on my computer. So right here you can see the images right here. As I said earlier, you have all the images you've taken at the side menu. And also if you need to make selections, just like Lightroom where you can use star rating to like make selections, you can use the short key of either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make your selections. So as you guys can see here, if you click on number 1, you're going to have just 1-star rating, which you can see right here. I have a 1-star rating here. If you click on number 2, you have 2-star rating, and so on. So this your rating menu, or this your rating system, just tells you on the priority of your images. If you know, oh yeah, these are the images you want to actually retouch or edit, you keep giving them higher ratings and all of that. So that's the rating system. You have your images right here. And also guys, if you need to, like as I said earlier, I use this menu, which is the exposure menu, to like do all of my adjustments and all of that. And as you guys can see, we have all of our white balance, which is Kelvin I shot at, which is 5600. You have the exposure, which I adjusted right here, the contrast, the shadows, all of this, which I have just adjusted. This is basically just to introduce you guys to how to use Capture One, and I hope you guys have been able to like understand the way it works. Basically just more for a photographer and nothing more, just getting you guys familiar with the interface itself. So majorly guys, just for me to recap, I use the session majorly. I use the session just to like create different session for different photo shoots I'm having. Then I could decide to put in a catalog later, but I'm majorly using the session, and I play around this menu, which is my exposure, to make my adjustments and all of that. And what else? To make my selection of my pictures, I click on the either number 1, number 2, number 3 on my keyboard. And if you don't want to do that, you could easily just like you can right click and you can actually still make your rating. Down here you can, as you guys can see, there is number 1, there's number 2, there's number 3. You could also use color tags instead. So I make my ratings for my image I want to select. And also guys, when I was talking about the focus marks, don't forget, this is the focus marks. As soon as I click this, I'll see where the image is actually in focus. As you guys can see right here, this image is in focus as the green isn't on the subject face. You have right here, this image is in focus, but this image is in focus. You can see this green is right on our face, so this image is actually in focus. That's why you have the focus marks here. So if you don't have all of this menu that you can see right here on your own Capture One menu, you need to like right click on this part here, this bare place on this top part here. You right click, you see customize toolbar, so you can get actually all of everything of Capture One that you want to hop here. So Capture One is more like gives you the ability to be able to like play around your interface itself. So you can decide to add anything you think you want: exposure warning, focus marks, rotate, auto adjust, everything. You can actually pick it and drag and drop, basically drag drop anything you want from this particular menu. That's how Capture One works. And mind you, also, if you feel, oh, you don't like the way Capture One actually sets up everything right here, you can play around your Capture One. You can move stuff around. Like I can decide to pick my library menu, drop it here, just more like Photoshop. I can decide to say, oh, this is my filter menu, I don't like where it is, I drop it. I decide to bring it, drop it here. I could move things around on Capture One. So Capture One is really interesting. You can create a whole new menu yourself that you feel, oh, this works better with me. And basically that's how Capture One works. So I hope this tutorial has been able to like give you guys insight to using Capture One as a first timer. And there will be a follow-up tutorial on how I actually edit my images with Capture One before I send my images to Photoshop. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, kindly like, comment and subscribe on my channel, and don't forget to hit the notification icon to get notified as soon as I post a new video weekly. Cheers guys.